Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. In the past month, an old video that I uploaded almost a year ago about my tiny house has like resurfaced and it's kind of bouncing around and people are commenting on it and it's getting some traction and all that good stuff. And from the comments, I basically learned two things. You know, one, people will like it, and two, I need to slow down with my camera movements and not spin. So here's the funny thing. I moved from that place about 4 months ago and I live in downtown Nashville. So I want to make another video about minimalism, tiny living, because when we moved from the tiny house, we actually downsized. So I'm going to show you around the apartment, show you how I'm living. It's set up really similarly to the tiny house, except for this is a studio apartment, so there's no bedroom and no office. But going forward for this video and this tour, I'm going to shoot a lot of B-roll so you don't have to stare at me the whole time. And I'm going to slow down with my camera movement. So coming in the front door, we're on the second floor. As soon as you come in the front door, you have a space on the left to store shoes, hang your coat, your dog leashes in our case, and all that good stuff. Moving right past that, you have the kitchen and the living area. And then right to the right of that is the bathroom. So I'm gonna start us off in the bathroom, take us in there. So like I said before, we actually downsized. Our tiny house is around 630 square feet. This is 514 square feet. So we lost a lot of space. Mostly we lost the office and the bedroom, which is a huge deal, but we'll cover that in a minute. So walking in here, something to notice off the bat that we didn't have in the tiny house is we've got 10-foot ceilings now. That makes everything feel a lot bigger. Even though the tiny house was bigger square footage wise, this feels a lot more open, a lot airier because of the ceilings. It's got 9-foot doors, or 8-foot doors, I'm sorry. And that has also helped. So coming into the bathroom, it's situated similarly to the tiny house. There's not a whole lot you can do with this kind of space, but tile shower with a zero entry, no curb like I had at the tiny house, which is so awesome. I wish every shower was like that, and going forward on my projects, no shower that I do will be a curb shower. It will be zero entry. You just kind of have to know that in advance or it won't work. The toilet's next to that, and then beside that we have the vanity. So the vanity is laid out really similarly to the way it was in the tiny house. So I've got the sink on one side and all the open space on the other, which I think ergonomically is the best way to set up a vanity. But this time, instead of just having the doors, we've got 3 big drawers and doors. So it's got a lot more space than the one did at the tiny house, which has been really cool. But it's still floating, just like the one at the tiny house. It's a similar size bowl, and it looks really good in here. Obviously, I didn't design this place. This was a new construction build in a building, and this is one of the studio units. I didn't get to design anything. This was just the way it is. So there's lots of grays that we're not super stoked about, but we'll get back to the tour. Right behind me here is the washer and dryer, and we have some storage up there, and we did like a little clothesline thing. And then behind me now is the closet. So the closet is not necessarily a walk-in closet. You can go in there, and it's really messy right now. But basically, this is my section, and the rest is Avery's. It has a pocket door, which is really nice. Pocket doors are stellar for saving space. We were able to pick out a few things moving in here that were custom. I just said we didn't get to customize anything. We did get to mess around with the closet a little bit, and we opted to add built-ins for the dirty clothes. So there's 2 dirty clothes baskets that are built in there. That was a really good play, really smart, because we didn't want to keep a lot of things on the floor. You know, when you're living in a space like this, you want to keep everything down to a minimum because there's just no room. And the more stuff you bring in here, the smaller it's going to be, and the more enclosed you're going to feel. So we did that so that we don't have to have any dirty clothes baskets hanging around here. I think that's about it in here. I'm going to move it right back along again, taking it slow. I don't want to make anybody sick. So if you keep walking and you keep walking, you basically enter into the last place you can go in this place. So you've got the living room, the office area, the bedroom, and the kitchen. So behind me you have the kitchen. The kitchen is very similar to the tiny house, very similar layout. We got a full-size dishwasher here instead of the drawer pull-out like we had in the tiny house. Full-size stove, full-size microwave, all that, tile backsplash. They're matte cabinets instead of like the high gloss like we had at the tiny house, but it looks pretty good. The backsplash is not necessarily my thing, but it is fairly nice. We do have a full-size pantry this time around. 2 dogs sleeping. She's trying to shut it on me. Can you get up? Thanks. Oh, thank you. Okay, sorry. She thinks she's getting a treat now. A full-size pantry, which has been great. Because we have all kinds of nonsense in here. I mean, it's mostly it's probably half nonsense, half food, but having a pantry is really dope. So, just like the other kitchen, we've got 2 drawers and a ton of like cabinet space. We've got more overhead this time because obviously at the tiny house we had floating shelves. So moving right along, right here we have like this wine / like alcohol cart thing. It's not a cart, it's like a fixed piece of furniture. It doesn't have wheels or anything, but it's made for wine, but I use it for my dresser. So it's got my socks and underwear and like t-shirts and some other nonsense in it. We also use the top for like a catch-all, like keys and wallet and my sunglasses. I'm the only one that uses this. It's got a wireless charger on it. It's been pretty nice. Again, there's no room for a dresser in here. So all of Avery's stuff's in the closet. And then I have a few hanging items like my suit and my jackets. And then I have this for everything else. So this time around we have a huge fridge, just a regular size fridge with overhead storage just like we did before. It's been nice to have a full-size freezer. The fridge we had at the tiny house was fine. It was small, but it was fine. But it is kind of nice having a big freezer this time around. So if I turn around here, you're in the living room. It looks familiar, right? You've got a console, a coffee table, and a couch. There's just not a whole lot of room for anything else in here. So over here in this corner, where I would usually have, where previously we had an office, we've got my desk. I've got the desk set up in a really minimal way. I would like to have a little bit more things going on over here, but because the desk is in the living room, I don't want to clutter this area. I don't want everyone coming in and seeing everything. So I had my friends make me a custom desk, and they put like cable channels in it so that the cables are routed along. I have a new custom built PC that hangs from the bottom so you don't have to see it. And that's about as low key as I can really keep my setup, and it still be comfortable and fun to use. I play games, obviously I edit these videos on there, I spend a lot of time there, I work there, so there's a few things I just like to have at this point. Besides that, I got the video light. A couple weeks ago, Avery painted the wall black to give us like an accent wall. She's gonna do something there, we're not really sure exactly what, but for now, it's just a black wall. I think she's gonna do something to contrast that up. So if you come around here, I'm gonna walk over here. You walk over here, that cabinet behind us is our bed, that's our Murphy bed. So at nighttime, you lower that thing down, you put the feet down, it takes 2 seconds, super easy. You put we tuck the pillows down behind it, we pull those out, and then we sleep. In the morning, we tuck it back in and flip it back up, and then it's out of the way and gone. Kind of sweet because you don't have to make your bed, which is dope. And then second, it's nice just that the bed's out of the way. If the bed was sitting here, it would just be so weird to me. I would just feel like I'm in my bedroom constantly. Whereas when it's gone, I feel like, okay, I'm not in the bedroom, which means it's not sleep time, it's not relax time. I need to be like working, I need to be doing something. So I didn't want to have my bed right behind my desk setup, and that's why we opted for that. I do have a bike now to get around, basically get to the gym and back without having to get my truck out. And it hangs right there. We hung it with like a mount that we got off Etsy. We've got a few decorations in here already. We got the skateboards hanging out, which look really cool. They're like walnut. It matches the furniture and stuff like that. And the last thing really to show you is the sliding door. So you can open this door, which we have been doing a lot of lately because the weather's been so nice. Shut that before they jump out. But it's not a proper balcony, it's just a door that you can open and let the fresh air in. And on top of that, the place came with shades that you can lower at night or during the day if too much sun's coming in. During the day, the sun comes in really, really hard right through these windows, and it's kind of hard to see my monitors. Like I need to wear sunglasses to like stare at my monitors. So that's a little bit annoying, but you can lower the shades to get rid of that a little bit. I think that pretty much sums it up in here. We moved to Nashville for her work a couple months ago, and like I said before, we downsized. It's been good to again move, get rid of a bunch of stuff we didn't need, and now we need to be even more careful about the things that we bring in here because there's just not room to accumulate a bunch of stuff. So that keeps us conscious of that, and I don't ever think that could be a bad thing. But hopefully this didn't make you sick like it did in the last video. I appreciate you watching. Let me know what you think. I'll talk to you guys next time. See ya.